Welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Hello guys, welcome once again to another review recap of Love and Marriage Detroit. So firstly, how did you feel about today's episode? No, yesterday's episode.
Uh, it was a little boring, actually.
Really? It was a little really?
Yeah, I was kind of bored. I had to keep watching it over and over because I'm like, did I miss something? You
Yeah.
know, so it was a little bit boring to me.
Wow.
How was it for you?
Yeah. For me, it was kind of boring, a little bit boring also. Um, this is what I didn't want. It was a little bit boring, but
Hmm.
I think the only part I kind of enjoyed was when Kobe, her husband, and their aunts met up. I think that was the only thing in the episode that just made me like, you know what? I was happy I watched this episode. Apart
Right.
from that, apart from that, nothing at all. The episode wasn't giving.
Right.
I just feel like they are doing a lot of rinse and repeats.
Hmm.
And one thing I hate is when there is one thing I hate is when there's rinse and repeat of shows. Like I do hate shows that you can predict the storylines and you've already seen some of the things that they are just talking. It's just like you already know about these. So what else? You know? That's just what I just feel like it's just too much. But anyways, um let's go ahead and talk about, some of the at least the things that I feel like are worthy of being talked about in the episode.
Okay.
Firstly, let's talk about we started the episode with Christine and Kimberly. That fight was like, oh God. Why did she have to bring in her clothes and be like, take that clout, take that? I was like, see that I understand you wanted to make her feel how you felt, but the way you did it was giving me like, are you confused? It didn't give what it was supposed to give. I don't know what she thought in her head when she was leaving her house and coming for that meetup, but her bringing out her clothes, I'm like, yeah, take this. I was like, yeah, I know maybe I feel it was that kind of thing that you visualize something in your head, then when you do it,
Hmm.
it's a different thing. You're just like, wow, wow. In my head, it just came out different. Like I thought it was different in my head, but in real life, it wasn't. I feel like that was just it because I didn't understand why she needed to do that. I understand. I do understand is letting the person know how much of a hurt you feel, right?
Right.
And I think that was what she was going for, wanting to make her understand how hurt she felt. I feel like that was what she was going for, to make her understand how she felt hurt. But at the end of the day, um, she made a mockery of herself, and in so doing, also gave Christine an ammunition against her, because look at how Christine was there sitting down. She now started looking like the mad person. And it wasn't fair because she had value points. She had valid points rather. Don't talk about me like that on my back. Don't say those things about me. You had a valid point, but the way you approached it was nada. Sorry, I didn't see that. I felt like it was. I felt like, was this produced? Was this like, the producers being like, you know what, you have to come in extra, coming hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if it was from the producer or from herself in her imaginations, it didn't come out right. And for me, I just felt like it was unnecessary. And for what even pissed me off was that if I brought myself to that level that I did that, action film that she did, I would have left immediately. I dropped the last clothes. I would have left that whatever they were, cake, cafe, or whatever. I would have left there. You still sat down and had a chat and still came to a conclusion of, you know what, let's just be cordial. So why, if you knew that you were coming there with a mindset of coming to a conclusion or trying to come to a conclusion that you guys wanted to be in a cordial relationship, at least you guys should see each other because of you guys share friends group, you have to be cordial. Why did you then have to do all those things? It now looked like the things you did at the beginning was worthless because at the end of the day, you were still going to agree to be cordial. That's just my take. I don't know if you have a different take, because for me, that's how I just saw that whole interaction.
Well, when I seen it, I was like, the pot calling the kettle black. I mean, she
Oh,
pulls out her notebook, you pull out your notebook. So, where is the Kolby cat at? You know what I'm saying? Who's the Kolby cat? Remember when she called Kolby a Kolby cat, saying that Kolby was
yeah,
copying off of her?
yeah.
So Kimberly was like, okay, now she knows I always have my notebook to make my notes. And then all of a sudden she pulls out her notebook. I'm like, okay, I'm done with these ladies. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with Kristina. I didn't understand the conversation because it seems like when they all met with the other ladies and they had the conversation, everything seemed like it was cool, kumbaya.
Yeah,
And
we
soon
watched
as
it.
as soon as
I
you have
think in
your
episode
party,
3.
as soon as you have your party, it's like I'm the topic of your
Yeah.
party. Well, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, Thanks for putting some relevance to my name and some
Mm-hmm.
respect, you know, because if I could take over the conversation without me being there at your event, then let me take my bow now. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. you know. So it was just crazy. And the throwing of the clothes. Like, did she pick that shit up when she got ready to leave? Was the clothes clean? Was it designer clothes or was it from the mall? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about labels or non-labels? As long as your stuff is clean and you're rocking it and you looking good and you feeling good. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
all the talking about each other's marriages and like, who on that show really has a solid marriage? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
Everybody is going through it, you
True
know.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, and then I was tripping off of the people in the little cafe. They looked like they was just looking and ready for some action. They look like the audience.
Yeah, they looked like they were ready to have a watch party.
Yeah, I was like, okay, they keep turning around looking like, what are they looking at them? Are they getting louder? Their voices are getting louder, the tone, or are they looking for the waitress? So it was just kind of crazy to me, you know. But yeah, I'm glad they agreed to disagree. That hey, at least we can be. It's cordial. I mean, they're human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why be at each other's throats every time you see each other? If you know you don't like each other, cool. You're gonna have to run into each other, cool. No, deal with it the adult way until somebody says something.
Mm.
You know, that's how I would do it.
Yeah. So well, I like you said, I'm happy they came to an agreement. But let's see, most of reality TV shows, they say one thing, and in the next episode they're like, didn't we just have a talk?
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah, so let's see how this will play out, whether they would really do keep to their, let's be cordial till
Right.
the end of the season. Now, Christine went to the studio to sing. One thing I'm gonna say is Kristen don't have she has voice. She can sing. She has the talent. Um, she went to the studio with her brother, then with her producer, and she was singing. But she was kind of in the first time, she was feeling kind of off because Brandon was not there, and she was like, she feels like if Brandon was there, and her brother was like, "Why do you have to wait for Brandon to be there?" At that moment, I felt like she should have understood where the brother was coming from, because if your own brother should tell you that, why does Brandon have to be here before you can be who you want to be, before you can be the best that I know you are? Because I'm pretty sure that before Brandon came into her life, she was a good singer. I listened to her voice. The voice is there. The voice is there. And for me, maybe because I'm looking at it as from a perspective that I'm not married. So, if I'm wrong, or if you feel differently, you can just say yours. But for me, I felt like her saying that she needed Brandon to be there to be her best. That kind of pulled me off, because I'm like, why does Brandon have to be there for you to show your perfect self? Why does Brandon has to be there for the person that you were before you met Brandon to come out? And I feel like, I don't think she learned a lot from the separation she had from Brandon, because if you say you had a separation from Brandon to be able to learn to stand alone, to be able to learn that I have to be my own person, she didn't learn those things. She didn't, because she's still wanting Brandon. If she's saying that, okay, I want Brandon to be there to see my new achievements in life, like I am going back into my love, I'm going back to something that I love, and I want Brandon to witness it, that's a different thing. Because we want our loved ones to witness, us, going, you know, places. What? You said that you wanted him there because you feel like if he's there, you would have done better. Mm. Okay? That's by the way. And truthfully, and one thing I say is that when you say something, the power in our tongue is powerful. And immediately she said that she didn't do well during the studio section. She didn't do absolutely well during the studio section. Then the next time they came back, this time she was with Brandon, and yeah, she did better because Brandon was there. Yeah, Brandon is a good music coach. He did teach her, he did tell her things to do, and she became better about it. What is your opinion about that situation? How saying that she wanted Brandon in there, and did you feel like if Brandon was not there, would she have done better and focused more?
Okay. I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
from the first note to the last note, maybe I'm
yeah.
tone deaf, but I
Oh,
swore I heard somebody cackling. I didn't hear no singing. I heard,
what?
this is what I heard. This is what I heard. Da, 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 da. Like, huh? What?
Really?
Like, put your big girl voice on. You know what I'm saying? She's no Whitney Houston. She's no Patti LaBelle. Like, uh, she ain't even Megan Thee Stallion. Like, girl, like, you need to go back to the drawing board. Your breathing is all wrong. Your pitch is horrible. And you're in the studio. Yeah, I just, like, I was like, okay, I don't know what made her think that she could sing. No, to me, she can't. She cannot sing. I'm not trying to be mean, but I know singing. She, to me, cannot sing. Maybe in the shower, maybe the
Really?
lullabies.
You sound like that.
Yeah, maybe the lullabies she sing her kids. But no, I would never buy a CD or download her music. to be listening to. I don't think so.
That's shady.
Well, I'm sorry, but I heard what I heard. It was
Wow.
it was like it was all off key. Like, what the hell? You
Oh
know?
no, no, that's not fair. Yeah, I
It's
was
like
saying that she was good.
wait a minute, but you taking all these little on the side singing classes with your homegirl, and you know, and we ain't heard you hum a tune until you get in the studio, and I was disappointed. I felt bad. Talking about you need Brandon because you're not hitting the notes right. When Brandon got there, you still wasn't hitting the notes.
Oh
You know, I don't know what
no,
I don't
no.
know what you needed him there for. What was they gonna do? Auto tune her real good, and make her sound like Beyonce? Because no, it just I wanted to close my ears down after that. I just couldn't hear another note. So I would like to hear the finishing to that song and see what they did to it to make her sound better. Because just off the rip, nah. If this was one of those like America Got Talent, shit, where's the gong? Where's the buzzard? I just couldn't sit there and listen to her. Then she opened her
Hmm.
mouth like, oh, that's the wrong note. You knew it was the wrong note when you first opened your mouth. You know what I'm
Oh no, 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 that's
saying?
not fair.
I'm not trying to be mean, but maybe she needs to pick a different career. Keep being a good influencer, and maybe she I don't really like the way she dresses, but maybe that's her style. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't know if she's trying to be like a melody, you know, but she's way off basis, you know. So I don't know. Maybe she needs to be an interior designer or something. I don't know. A
Oh my
singer,
God.
a singer, nah, nah. And then she said her parents sung gospel. Maybe she needs to go to gospel, you know, because
Yeah.
R&B ain't her thing.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That
It's just how I felt. It's just how I felt watching it.
wow. It's the fact that your take is deep. It's so different from me. I was here praising her while you were here.
Uh,
Wow.
well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to load the gun and shoot it, but
Wow.
she gave me the ammo,
You
though.
really shot the gun.
Yeah, she gave me the ammo. Come on. I would have told them, look, hold on, take that part out. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. See, she had to have hurt herself afterwards. She knew it didn't even feel good coming out the gut. A real
Hmm.
singer ain't gonna care who's there. They gonna sing they song. See what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That was what I was feeling like. If you were a real singer,
Yeah, I'm telling you, put a mic in front of me. Let me be in one of my moods. I'm gonna sing my butt off. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
And you gotta feel the words in order to sing them. You can't just know the words, see the words and then just let it come out your mouth. No, you have to get in deep into
Mm.
the actual feelings behind the words so you can put that song out. She's not a real singer. She's just somebody who likes to dabble.
Mm. Wow. Wow. I hope Christine doesn't hear this.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I could give her some voice lessons.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? We could do it over the internet, however she want to do it. But whoever she's having to help her, it ain't helping.
mm. Okay. Um, this is by the way. Let's go ahead and talk about the second thing that did happen in that studio session was when they were talking about Anthony and Chelsea. And Christine was like, Anthony, Anthony needed to apologize to Chelsea. Do you think that Christine is biased because Chelsea is her friend in asking Anthony to apologize to Chelsea? Because I remember that altercation in season one. Chelsea
Hmm.
was the one that put herself, it's like you put yourself in the situation that you're not supposed to put yourself in. Of course,
Exactly.
when you put yourself where you are not needed or warranted, anything that comes out of it, you're supposed to accept it with grace. So she put herself in a position, unfortunately, she put herself in a position with somebody that has a mouth that likes to curse a lot. And he said something to her that is she's offended by. And she's taking it to heart. But I feel like Kristen telling and Brandon to tell Anthony to apologize to Chelsea, for me, isn't right. And I feel like she's just been biased. And I do understand because she's her friend. But I feel like she shouldn't have said Anthony to apologize to Chelsea. The situation should be Chelsea should apologize to Anthony, then Anthony should apologize back to Chelsea and probably stop calling her a bird.
Right. I mean,
That's how I feel it.
yeah, I agree. Chelsea put herself in a situation where she had no dog in that fight. You know what I'm saying? You were amongst your friends' friends. You were invited, you know, and you get into an argument at the dinner table. Like, what? It was like our first introduction to Chelsea, right? During the first season, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and Chelsea has a lot to say. Like, Chelsea, we're your man. You know what I'm saying? Speak when
Mm-hmm.
spoken to. Stay out of grown folks' business. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said. Hey, you in the midst of bosses, so act like it. Okay, you know that's good criticism. Maybe she should have took it, but she didn't. She got offended by it. You know, but she just seems like she is just a firecracker. Like
Yeah.
she's just gonna pop off. She don't care who it is. You know, she's gonna pop off, even if it ain't her business. She gonna make it her business. You know, I don't like
Mm,
people that insert themselves in other people's business. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm gonna give her $5 to go buy her own business.
And,
You know, and
that that
I thought, I
yeah.
thought, I thought Anthony was within his rights to say, hey, no, I'm not apologizing. That'll never happen. You know what I'm saying, Brandon? Like, you need to be doing some apologizing to your wife and your kids. Are you trying to get another grown man to apologize to a woman who ain't your woman? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would never ask my husband, hey, you think you could tell your friend to apologize to my friend? Nah, that don't even fly with me. These are two grown people. If she said something that, yeah,
Exactly.
that this person didn't like and they checked her, hey, who am I to uncheck it? you know so yeah, I just thought Brandon was wrong, Anthony was right, Chelsea was wrong, Christina is delusional. you know
Not delusional.
yes,
Wow.
delusional. Like, girl, get your marriage right. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Get your marriage right. Because I told you he was gonna bring his ass back home. You know what I'm saying? He buy her a ring and give her a party and he back home. That's all it took. That's all it took. Wow. Some gifts and a party. Girl, please grow up. Buy your own damn ring. See what I'm saying? you know, throw your own party. We still separated because you still got some shit you need to work on.
Hmm.
That's just how I feel about it.
Well, like I said, I did not. I guess we are both agreeing to it. I did not see on understand. I don't understand why Kristen would tell Brandon to tell Anthony to apologize to Chelsea. And I don't. One thing I don't understand is I don't know why people do this. You know that two people don't like themselves. You know they don't like being in the same room. Why
Right,
the heck is Anthony inviting you to a podcast? And the only thing in your mind is to bring his arch enemy to the same podcast. It's like you're purposefully looking for trouble. You are purposefully trying to be like, okay, I'm going to ruin this occasion. Because if somebody doesn't like somebody and the two people don't like themselves, when you bring them in the same room, it's going to be awkward. There is gonna be so much awkwardness. So don't do that. So Christine being like, Chelsea has to be there, that's non-negotiable. I'm like, that Han and Tony do not mix. Why
right,
do you have to bring her to the podcast? Already Brandon is going with you. So
right,
why?
right,
It's giving me like I purposely want to sabotage this prop. I just want to, I want to create drama. And I've noticed that about Christine. She creates a little bit of drama, then she runs and hide.
right.
Like, okay, I'm just gonna watch the flame burn and pretend like I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. She does. She does. She starts a lot of drama, unnecessary. You know, and you would think that her hands would already be full, but she always there to stir the pot. So this is gonna be a mess when they have this podcast. It's gonna be a mess. Because
Mm.
I could just see Chelsea now throwing shade, talking crazy, snapping, you know, and Brandon saying, "Hey, be cool, Anthony, be cool." And Anthony just like can't take it, going off. So it's gonna be
Man,
something to see.
yeah. Then moving forward, well, I'm glad that she has finally let him back home. At least maybe that chapter will be closed. Um Now the only thing I feel like in this episode that made me like I was moved in the episode was Kobe meeting with her aunt
Mhm.
Kayla. Is it Kala or Kayla or Kyra? I've
I
forgotten.
didn't, I didn't really catch her name.
She met with her aunt and she's talking about the fact that she's not like she doesn't like the fact that she's feeling sad that she's having another daughter and she wanted a male child. And
Hmm.
I feel it is valid also. Um, but when the aunt was telling her story, I was like, yeah, when especially when she said she almost lost faith in she lost faith in God because yeah, sometimes you go through situations you just be like, you know what? God watched me go through these things and he did nothing. He wasn't by my side, he didn't fight for me. He allowed me enter the situation. The reason why I loved that part of the episode is because I understood where she was coming from because I've been in a similar situation where I kind of doubted um my religion, and I was like, how would I be, very a dedicated Christian and go through this thing? So I was happy that I got to hear that somebody also went through something similar, and how they found their way back. So I think for
Mhm.
me, that was the highlight of today's, like, the whole of the episode, Love and Marriage Detroit episode 6 was this part where she kind of narrated that story. But I love that she is using it to teach Kobe a lesson that she should learn. Because at the end of the day, I love what she said at the ending. This child, yes, she wanted a boy. Yes, you were praying for a boy, but it ended up being a girl. There's a reason why it's a girl. The only thing you should be praying for now is God to give you the strength and stamina to be able to train this child to become what God wants it to be. Because the child coming as a girl was for a reason. But do you think that Kobe has learned and would finally let go of the fact that she wanted a male child, but she's not getting the male child?
Well, I first off, I love the scene. It was a very touching scene, beautiful, had a message. You know, as one of many girls in my family, and I have many brothers, you know, and we all have the same parents. Okay. So to know how good it is to have a sister that you could talk to, you could count on. I got younger sisters, I got older sisters, you know, it's beautiful. It's like almost like having a mom again. You know what I'm saying? Because you get that love, you get that advice, you get that friendship, you know. So, yeah, a little girl needs a sister to play with so they can grow their imagination together. You know what I'm saying? So, um, as far as Kobe accepting, I'm praying that she does, and because any baby is a gift from God, any life. And to have the joy and to have the right equipment that's working and functional that can carry a baby full term, that's a blessing regardless to what sex it is. you know Maybe
Yeah.
daughters were meant for her. Maybe it was meant for her to have daughters and a whole bunch of grandsons. You know what I'm saying? You never know
Yeah.
what God has in plan for you. The book is already written. All we doing is following the script. Once people realize that, it'll make life so much easier, so much less stressful. you know and I haven't been in a situation, but I've been in a lot, a few medical situations where, I didn't give up my faith, but I questioned, like, why is this happening? You know, and the only
Mm,
thing that I could come to the conclusion of after years of thinking, because it took years, because I kept thinking, like, why? Once I came to this conclusion, I said, oh, living for my girls, God wanted you to be quiet and just observe.
mm,
Because sometimes you can talk too much and you're not really reading everything. And it's only when you're quiet you can read.
mm. Yeah.
So hopefully she's satisfied and she'll be happy, because once she see that little face, she's gonna fall in love.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel like when she sees the face of the baby,
Hmm.
all will be okay.
Yeah, she's gonna be so protective.
Yeah. Oh, let's go to the next thing that happened in the episode. Um, then we had the men's movement. Now, I'm confused about this men's movement thing. The men's movement we had in season one is different from the men's movement we're having now. Do you think like because when they said men's movement and I was confused what was going on, like they were empowering both girls and talking to girls. I'm like, it's called the men's movement, right?
Right.
And the way they defined the men's movement for us in season one is different from the definition they're giving it now in season two. I
Hmm.
feel, or it's a question now. Do you feel like after the backlash from season one, the way a lot of people were like, what's the meaning of men's movement? And the way they were trying to, explain the men's movement. Do you think they decided to make an adjustment to the men's movement in season two so as not to make people upset about what it truly meant for them um, when they brought it out in season one?
Right. I did notice that it was a different type of gathering, because the first one they had what their wives and key speakers. They had Marceau, remember? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about, how black men are being, sought up after the police, and what can they do in order to, stay safe. And, they're talking about all these different subjects. And I did notice the second meeting that they showed us that it was like young girls there, so I was like, what is this, like the YMCA, or
Yeah.
young women and men of America, you know, men and women of America, like what is this? You know, I mean, are they having was it two different groups that they decided to combine together? Do they have a young ladies empowerment and a young men's empowerment? I didn't really understand, you know, and I'm just hoping that they're doing some kind of good for the community and not just out there just showboating. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I mean, don't do
That
this
that
just for TV.
yeah, I also felt like that because the definition of what they said was the men's movement in season one ended up being different in season two. We saw a different picture, and I was like, what is going on? Like, you were saying that, it was what it was in season one. Why don't you stand on your ground? Why are you shaking? Because
Right,
people gave you hate. That means, for me, it tells me that you were never authentic with it at the first place.
right,
You didn't mean it from the first place. You did not do what you did from the right place. You just wanted the attention, and now because you got backlash, a little bit of backlash, you'll be like, I'm gonna double down. When you are right, when you feel like something is right, no matter whether it's evil, bad, good, when you feel like what you're doing is right, even if it's bad, we see it around the world. You see people doing something and you be like, well, what the heck is this person doing? But you still see them when they tell them this is wrong, they still stand firm because that's what they believe in. And that means they went into that thing with the right intentions. Yes, they might not know the repercussion and they might not care about any other person. So if you want to do something, if you say you came in the season one being like men's movement, we're here to teach the men how to do, why are you changing it in season two? Because you got backlash. It's telling me that even from the season one, you were never authentic. Whoever that brought up the men's movement never brought it from a good place. That means probably brought it up because you wanted to have a time or something to talk about on TV.
right.
Yeah, that's what it's giving me. That probably you brought, and even this one, it was giving me it's rushed. Yeah, because how we are all, you're teaching young kids, and all the panelists are just standing with, like, I don't get. Are we having a whole meeting? Panelists are just there standing, and then, they're just, I was like, what the heck? What the heck? It was giving me that they were not prepared. They just wanted to just, you know what, let's just do this, and let it be on TV. Like, it was, oh my God. I think Brandon has to stop talking about, sorry, not Brandon, Anthony has to stop talking about this men's movements, because for me it's not doing anything for me at all. It's not. But I
Yeah.
love the fact that, yeah, yeah, you can go ahead.
I know. I was just gonna say maybe they need to go back to the drawing board,
Yeah,
and get some real substance behind that. I mean, it's not a bad idea,
it's not a bad idea.
but get some substance behind it. Like teach these young men a trade, you know, teach them to work on cars, teach them to build houses, teach them to do plumbing, teach them to do electrical work. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, teach them to uh, solve trigonometry problems, expand their mind and their skills, you know, keep them safe, show them the dangers of drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they need to go back to the drawing board, you know, and write stuff out and plan things out, because it just seemed like, hey, bring up, go to the Boys and Girls Club and get all the kids out of there and bring them in this auditorium. This is what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like it was
Yeah,
last thought,
last minute. Yeah,
you know. But
it, didn't-
that's
it,
just
it, didn't,
me.
it didn't give me the vibe that they really, really put in so much effort or planning into this. So
Right.
that's just how I felt. And but the reason I like is that I appreciate everybody being there to support. We had
Hmm.
everybody except for Brandon. I don't understand why he did not come. Him not coming did not make sense to me at all. It didn't make sense. And him after coming late, you're telling Anthony to apologize to Chelsea. I was pissed off that he had the effrontery to even say that. Yo, yeah, I get that when your wife was telling you that you have to say yes because you don't want to piss your wife off. But for him to stand in the midst of every other guy there and be like, you know what, I think it's high time you apologize to Chelsea. I was like, what? What? As I was watching it, I was like, wow, this guy really pulled it off. And he stood there making arguments. When you were there, this same Chelsea was abusing these people's wife.
Right.
You stood there saying that you didn't want to come in between. If you did not want to come in between, why are you asking Brandon to apologize? What? Sorry, why am I saying Brandon? Why are you asking Anthony to apologize to Chelsea? He's calling her a bed. What did she call his wife? What did she call her and Kolby? Two can play the game. If you have a sharp mouth to cuss out, expect to meet another sharp mouthed person that might even be worse than you.
Brandon is tripping. Okay. I thought he just said in the other episode, hey, we're going to stay out of the women's business. He's acting like Marcel. Okay. He's all up in the business. Like, what business is it of yours? You know? I mean, he didn't say anything to Chelsea when she was uh telling the ladies off when they were picking the rings, you know. Now I would have been embarrassed simply because I know there's a jeweler in there that's probably looking at them like, what the heck? Is this the way these people act that have a little bit of money? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna do? Start fighting in here? You know? I would have
Mm,
been like, okay, hold up. We can only have two at a time because I'm not going through this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was just an embarrassing moment, you know. But Brandon did say, hey, I'm not going to get in this because we agreed to stay out of the women's business. That way we can remain friends. We're trying to get them on the same page. No, didn't he say that? But then you going to come to Anthony and say, hey, you need to apologize. How you going to tell another grown man what they need to do? You know? So
mm-hmm.
I just didn't understand it. I
Mm,
didn't. You know, he's going against bro code. Stay out the
exactly.
women's business. Stay out the women's business.
Exactly. I want to see how this will play out on the long run of the episode of the season. We saw Brandon officially back home to his kids. Let's just hope. I just hope that this time is different, and he treats her well.
Well, it was already starting off bad. He came in throwing clothes on the floor.
Ah,
Okay,
when I
that
saw that,
right
I was like,
there,
"What the heck?"
that right there is disrespectful. How you gonna come through the door and just throw clothes on the floor? Come on, you get it up later. No, sir, you will be getting it up right now and putting it where it belongs. Either it belongs upstairs where your clothes belong or it belongs back in your car. Those are your choices,
hmm
you know.
I
So,
thought that she was gonna be. I don't think, like I said earlier on, I don't think Kristen really learned anything from their separation. I don't think she learned anything at
yeah,
all.
yeah, she didn't give to me. I don't know how long they were separated, but I don't think that she gave it enough time. Like, where was the counseling? We only seen that one little counseling with Russell, you know. Then there was the party, and you know, the studio got broken into. Kind of brought them back together a little bit. Hey, I need you to, manage this place, help me. You know, I don't know what happened in the marriage to make her tell him, hey, you got to go. But she should have kept that same energy. Because I
Mm-hmm.
still don't think that he's changed, whatever the problem was. You
Mm,
know, it seems like he just want to be at home for the comforts, you know,
mm,
of her cooking, cleaning, tending to him, waiting up for him at night. Ooh, she got a third child at home now. No, but I hope it works out. But I
yeah,
just I just don't see it.
I do hope it works out. I do hope it works out. Well, this is where we're gonna come to the end for this episode of Love Marriage Detroit. We'll see you guys same time next week for the next episode. But don't forget to also we'll be doing Real Housewives of Potomac. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for Games of Potomac. We'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day, guys.
Bye.